Let me introduce the first speaker. It's Professor Grace Ramos. She's an architect, environmental planner, and academician. She obtained her PhD in city planning from Seoul National University and her Master of Science in Urban Development Planning from the Bartlett School of Architecture. She also underwent training on urban development housing at the University of Lund, Sweden. She currently serves as Dean of University of Philippines College of Architecture. So Grace, please, over to you.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Am I coming out clear?
Yep, we can hear you.
Highlighted in this title slide is the word critical, which shall be the core principle to be discussed as basis for our institutional engagements. By critical, we mean that we screen these engagements on the basis of alignment with our college agenda, availability of resources, which includes time and human resources, and the evaluation of expected outcomes. I'll be proceeding with how we operationalize these principles and then end with examples of activities that we have undertaken with communities. So how does critical stance figure in our engagements? Some architecture projects may be private initiatives, but all of these products have very public consequences. Even pedestrians who just pass by buildings have a say on the designed and built environment form that affect their emotions and well-being. We recognize too that the built form is a combination of deliberate and structured processes and of spontaneous activities as well. We often refer to architecture as both science and art, and therefore it's subject to structured methodologies and assessment, especially so that the built environment imply on people's safety in the midst of all the hazards that they may not be aware of or may not have the capability to address. So the buildings we design should measure up to standards when subjected to scrutiny and criticism, and involving stakeholders from the beginning could possibly reduce the negative backlash when the building is already up. But how far do we go when collaborating? What time period do we allot for this? We can't go on forever involving everyone, all the so-called stakeholders. We know that architecture is embedded in multi-layer contexts that go all the way up to the international community. As scientists, we think of the comprehensive approach as the ideal approach to design, but there's also the political economy approach that embeds design within a more realistic context. Public spaces are contested spaces, and conflicting interests must be processed instead of us trying to cater to all at the same time. Such is the political dimension of space design. So how do we define the public, who is the community, and who constitutes the stakeholders? An informal settler once described this as a safe environment because this, she claimed, has been her family's abode for more than 20 years. And she was saying we're still alive and healthy. In the academia, all these issues should figure into the processing of design as we train students for the real world. We also need to factor in the notion of academic freedom. So how do we operationalize this? Our vision statement highlights the word transdisciplinary knowledge. Transdisciplinary, that means going beyond architecture discipline, involving the public, relying on indigenous knowledge, and creating new bodies of knowledge. Our academic programs all gear towards creating transdisciplinary knowledge through the melding of theories from different realms. We engage community in curriculum design, course and content delivery, and collaboration happens at different levels from local to international. We engage communities. We deliver courses based on the teaching, research, and extension integration thrust of the university. And so the college organization structure has a research program office as well as an extension program office. And to instigate research and extension from different disciplinary standpoints, we have organized our college faculty into 8 studio laboratories. Faculty become members of these studio labs based on their specialization and research interests. It is through these studio laboratories that we make interventions in terms of recommending, for example, how to make government projects such as the post-conflict Marawi project more culturally sensitive. Our degree programs have courses that allow the mixing of students in landscape architecture, interior design, city planning, and engineering with architecture students. Face-to-face collaboration has been replaced by online collaboration in recent times, but the objective remains the same. The general education program significantly complements the knowledge building within architecture. So theories from social sciences, philosophy, humanities, management, and economics flow in. The undergraduate curriculum also includes a national service training program where students engage in activities involving communities. The architecture design studios serve as the integrative hub for processing interdisciplinary knowledge coming from the studio laboratories and interdisciplinary knowledge coming from the general education courses and electives. Brainstorming would always precede architectural programming and design. Undergraduate design courses follow this progressive framework that proceeds from self to others to the environment. So they begin working on small projects on personal spaces to large-scale projects involving wider contexts. Our graduate programs are designed to be very transdisciplinary and very inclusive. The programs operate by the principles of openness, flexibility, and dynamism. These are our 7-degree programs where 3 of the 7 allow admission of holders of undergraduate degrees other than BS Architecture or Bachelor in Landscape Architecture. Capstone courses covering thesis and dissertations entail a lot of connecting with peers, local governments, and communities. Students' works are vetted against international standards through foreign students and visiting professors. Now, here are examples of what we have done. We have had vertically integrated research projects where one big research project, for example, one on disaster resilience, would involve students from undergraduate to PhD levels. We have collaborated with other universities, such as the University of Cincinnati, as an extension of ASEAN's Adopt a Municipality program, which was implemented in the aftermath of Typhoon Haiyan. Local and foreign students evaluated temporary relocation projects. They talked to community members, did ocular visits, and to come up with propositions on how to make the houses more sensitive to the user's needs. The project was done in collaboration with the municipal government of Palo, Leyte. Theses and dissertations are expected to create new knowledge that will contribute to the upgrading of life quality. These are examples of undergraduate students' works at their thesis level, which required very extensive coordination with communities as their clients. This is entitled Shape-Shifting Sustainable Livelihood and Micro Conservation Hubs for Threatened Philippine Biodiversity Regions. This one is entitled Tondo Community School Education is Catalyst for Community Development. And this one is Agrihood for Mainstreaming AITAs. AITAs are indigenous groups in the Philippines. AITA farming community in New Clark City, which is large-scale master planned development. We have also rendered service to other colleges within the university community through these inter-college webinars and discussions on heritage building, conservation, and webinars on defining Filipino identity from multidisciplinary lenses. We have also reached out to other universities abroad and local governments and offices through these activities. First is on the exploration of bamboo as material for low-cost housing projects. Second is on planning for next wave cities with Ormoc City as the case study. And third is on responsive design in the time of pandemic. The College of Architecture continues to assist schools in the Philippines as well as in other countries in curriculum development. Throughout all these, we are guided by the dialectic relationship between education and industry as a principle. This means that we should not only be responding to the industry, but we should rather be co-defining that industry. We are critical too in terms of who we provide free service to, because we do not want to compete with our alumni who are engaged in professional practice. In the end, we hope to see tangible expressions of these forms of collaboration, expressions that capture the co-definition process that involve the academe and society. Thank you very much.